Ladies and gentlemen, there's no crying in military engagements, for this is a Fred Daling Productions podcast.
I must respect the female. I am putting down my gun.
I'm putting
don't
down
you-
my gun.
I just love the writing. Oh.
Let's cue the music, shall we?
We shall.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Look, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
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 I'm a Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and
And I'm a man that barely really needs a haircut. I'm Michael Lister.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experiencing it through the mediums of the internet and hydration.
Yes.
And HD quality.
And fully the shiny new tech.
Ooh, Mrs. 1080p over here. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It's exciting. It's
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah. Yes, welcome to the show, everyone. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's just get straight to it with the weekly watchings. Fulya, take us
Yes. All right. So, I finished watching the rest of Free Ren Beyond Journey's End, and it just what a lovely ending to this really amazing journey adventure that they have, and I'm so glad I got to watch it. It's a really great experience. That anime had me have all of the feels for these characters, and you feel a bit attached to them and all that sort of thing, and you grow to love them. And yeah, it was a really good watch. I would highly recommend Free Ren. Kendall, I think you might enjoy it because it's very fantasy based. Yeah, kind of like a very kind of D&D ish. They build a party, they go off on adventures. The elf is the main story, the main character.
Okay, yeah.
And her name is Free Ren.
And
because no, she doesn't live on a shelf. But because she lives for, hundreds and thousands of years, she experiences the life and the loss of people that she has journeyed with. And so, yeah, she's a very interesting character. She's all about trying to find, different grimoires so that she can learn magic and all that sort of stuff. But the magic she wants to learn isn't to be like the greatest and the most powerful, because she is quite a powerful mage. It's more so like just the little things, magic to all of a sudden spawn flowers somewhere, or, something that just makes her feel happy, or others happy. So that's really sweet. So yeah, Free Ren Beyond Journey's End, definitely worth the watch. I believe it has just recently arrived to Netflix. So if you have your Netflix, you can watch it there. I've been watching it on Crunchyroll though.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely worth the watch. Speaking of more anime, I am now continuing on my watch through of other animes, one of which is a bottom tier character, Tomozaki. And I had already seen season 1. Season 2 was on my my watch list in the backlog, so I've started watching that. And it's a really great anime. It's essentially about high school students. This particular character, Tomozaki, he's got this he's very antisocial, but it's because he has like social anxieties. So in season 1, one of his classmates actually started helping him to sort of come out of his shell a bit more, but the only way that he would learn all of the social interactions and all that sort of stuff and how to communicate and try to make friends was as if he was playing a video game, like an RPG game. It was the only way he could understand how to, form friendships and be able to speak to people and all that sort of stuff. And that's how he was learning to become a bit more social. And now in season 2, he's starting to he's actually grown quite a bit. He's a lot more social than what he used to be. And now he's starting to help others in terms of being a bit more better with their social interactions with other students. And there's a big drama, like high school drama that happens for a few episodes. And it was getting a bit intense. But he managed to find a way to work it out with everybody. And it was really, really cool. So yeah, bottom tier character Tomazaki, definitely worth the watch. I haven't finished season 2. That's only like the first, I think, 5 episodes. There's still quite a few more to go. But yeah, enjoying that anime as well. And the last thing I want to mention, because Max just recently arrived here in Australia, I started watching season 1 of The Last of Us.
Yes! Picking the mic. Oh my god.
Yes.
Mm-mm-mm.
In the lead up
Please, tell
to
us more.
season 2 coming this week,
Yes.
I've so far only watched the first 2 episodes.
Well, the first one is a long one, so.
Yeah, the first one is a long one, yes. I want to watch number 3, but every time I want to watch number 3, episode 3, I know how long it is. I cannot find the time to watch it. It's over an hour long, and I'm like, where am I going to fit this in?
You gotta make it work for you.
Yeah, I'll find the time. I know what episode 3 is going to be about. Like, I know it. I know. I am very curious to see how they do this particular episode. But episode 1, I just want to say, the first section of the game, where it's Joel and Ellie, and then the scene that happens with not Joel, Ellie, Joel and his daughter. I forgot her name already.
Sarah, her name?
Sarah? I think it's Sarah. Yeah, Sarah, that's right. So Joel and Sarah. In the game, when I was watching the playthrough, the scene did not hit me as hard as it did in the show. I teared up in the show. I cried when that happened. But I didn't when I was watching the playthrough, which was a bit strange. But I feel like I may have known it was coming. But even then, like, it just doesn't make sense that I don't know, maybe the show, the actors in the show evoked more emotion for me, that I connected with it a bit more. And so, yeah, that was interesting. And then, meeting Tess, and then, meeting Ellie. I will say, Isabella Ramsey, that's her name, right? Playing Ellie. I'm not sure that I find her intimidating enough compared to the one in the game. Like her face is a very baby face. And when she starts swearing like a pirate, it does not sound right coming out of her. In my eyes. I don't know why.
It's definitely a different dynamic.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm finding it hard to connect with her in this specifically, especially the way that she speaks. And the way that she's supposed to be this bratty teen or whatever. I don't know. It's not really working for me, but I'm still going to continue to go through it and watch it. Episode 2 ended with me dry heaving, and I'm like, what? Did not like that.
Gross, huh? Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like, That's gross.
You don't like the funky kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Moving
a lot.
on.
When I remember when it happened, a lot of people had opinions about it because
I was gonna say, because in
Yeah.
the game itself, she's actually trying to hold off not not a horde of infected, but I think it was military or hunters or something like that.
yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Villagers and all that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But in the show, they decided to go with the infected, and I thought, oh, that's an interesting take. Okay, but they got to it a lot sooner compared to in the game itself. So that was also interesting. But I suppose they're trying to like condense what they can and what makes sense, I suppose. I am loving Pedro as Joel. He's doing a fantastic job as Joel.
Yeah,
A fantastic
so good.
way.
Very fantastic. And yeah, I'm like I can definitely see why they decided to go with Pedro Pascal for the role. Like he looks the part. He really does look the part.
Yeah.
I'm also glad that they decided to go with an actor that looks or is at least somewhat similar to, I suppose, in looks with Joel's brother Tommy. So the actor that plays Tommy in the show. That was also an interesting choice as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to actually coming across him again later on, because in the game, Tommy
When we
is
get the
part of the
Jackson, yeah.
Fireflies. Yeah. So now I want to find out how they do it in the show. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, so far I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I got to watch episode 3, which is where we meet Bill, and the story of him and Frank, which I'm very intrigued about. So yeah, because when I was watching the playthrough of the game and we come across this one scene where they go into a house, I felt so bad for Bill. I really did. Like, my heart broke. So it'll be interesting to see how they pull it off in the show. But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up so that I can watch season 2 along with everybody. But I probably won't get around to watching part 2 gameplay probably until after the fact.
That's fine.
But that's okay, because I know part 2 is a longer game compared to part 1. So that's going to have a lot more for me to watch. But I am shockingly looking forward to watching through season 2. What is happening to me?
This is amazing. Like, so
I'm going through my own little renaissance of like different genres in shows, different genres in games. What the hell?
That's good. Broaden your
Yeah.
horizons.
Great. Yeah.
I am.
With Last of
I
Us,
am.
It's less about, well, it's like any other zombie film. It's less about the zombies. It's just the human characters and what it is to be human and that drama.
Yeah. That was also interesting, just seeing how the show set up like the cold opening to episode 1 of The Last of Us was interesting, how it was based in like the 50s, 60s, and this interview with these doctors. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And they're just talking about diseases and all that and how it's going to, affect the future of mankind. And I was like, okay. And then fast forward to like 2000s and I'm like, all right, interesting. So yeah, this is, it's actually panning out to be a really cool show, as gross as it is. There were some scenes where I had to like, oh, I know what's coming. I got to close my eyes here. But I was not expecting the way that that episode 2 ended. So did not expect that one. But yeah, so that's what I've been watching.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. It's made
You're
us
welcome.
both very happy.
Who knows?
Wonderful
Now
news.
that I'm subscribed to Max, I might be watching other shows that might surprise you.
Hello,
Ooh.
DC. There's a lot of DC there.
Peacemaker.
Not Pete. No, I'm sorry. I'm done with that. Peacemaker. Like I tried. That it was I couldn't.
Try again.
Try again.
No. I'm sorry.
But Eagly, you make an Eagly sad. No. Look, I need to save this moment. It's wonderful.
Baby steps.
And
baby steps.
And I'm done. Mike, what have you been watching?
Well, a bit like Fulya, I also subscribe to Max. And I've been rewatching The Last of Us to prepare myself for Last of Us Season 2. Or Part 2. I'm a little bit longer in the series. Today I just finished episode 8. So 1 episode to go to finish it all up. Why did I choose that to finish just before I come on line? Anyway, it's where we meet Dave.
Yeah.
Dave. Who is
meet
Dave?
David.
David.
You
We don't
remember
like
David?
Oh, with and his brother?
Yeah.
Is it David? Is it David and Sam?
Oh no, that's
you're-
Henry.
Oh, Henry.
Henry
Sorry.
and Sam.
Sorry. Okay, never
That's
mind.
Henry and Sam.
Okay.
We do see them in the show, but this is
Yes,
later
yes.
on at the end
After.
of the movie,
Right.
The
Right. Okay.
game,
Yep,
where
yep.
we meet up with David and his commune. His num.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
no. Okay, I can't.
that's all right. You'll find out.
I'm sure I'll
Anyway.
find out.
Yes, you'll find out.
Yeah, so that's a bit of fun because I'm planning to rewatch. I've been doing a lot of rewatches. So Last of Us. I was thinking of doing some Doctor Who because that's coming out this week as well, and probably next week I'll do Andor as well for that coming up too. So it's fresh in my mind, and I'm happy that I've watched it because there's. I don't think I've really sat down to rewatch it after playing the second game, and I can sort of see what they're sort of tying in within that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so mostly doing that. The reason why I got Max because I was going to get it because of Last of Us Season 2, so I was going to get it when that comes out next week. I got it this week because me and my wife wanted to watch a movie, and that was on Max, so we watched that, and I'll talk about that later on in the pod. The reason why was because of Val Kilmer. So we watched Batman Forever. She chose Batman Forever, and I chose MacGruber because he plays the bad guy in that.
Oh, right. I didn't know he was in that.
I was in that, and that's a bit
Yeah.
of fun. And it's the first time my wife watching that, and she thought it was absolutely hilarious and wondered why no one else is talking about this. It's like because I'm a big fan of Will Forte, and I love that man, and I'm so happy, so happy that Cody versus Acme is finally coming out. Yay!
Yeah, let's go.
Anyway, that's it basically. Probably the newest thing that I watched was probably Daredevil. So I'll talk about Daredevil. It's getting interesting. I don't know where this TV show is going or what's going to happen at the end. I have inklings that Fisk is probably going to outlaw vigilantes like altogether. So that's probably going to be the big thing at the end. And then, but my reckoning is that Matt is probably going to be ousted as Daredevil. So he's probably going to go underground even further. Because, there's going to be a confrontation between him and Fisk. Because I told you not to come back. I told you not to come back. Oh, you come back. I'm going to fuck everything up. Anyway, Muse was good. It was a good thing. But they got rid of him way too quickly. Hopefully he'll come back, maybe. I don't know. But that was good. Overall, the TV show is good. I can sort of see where they've sort of insert things with the reshoots and all that. So, but it's good. It's not great. Like the first couple of episodes was great, but it's sort of teetering, and we'll see what happens in the far end. And that's my spiel, and I'll pass it over to you, Kendall.
Yes, hello.
What have you been watching?
Yes.
Segue.
Well, everything in my list, bar like 2 things, is stuff that you guys have already all talked about. But I'll start with Daredevil because segues. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Muse. If this is the end of Muse already, then I'm a bit disappointed. For him to kind of only he's kind of in the background for the first few episodes, and then he kind of only gets 2 episodes in the spotlight, and then he's dead. I don't know. They were kind of they weren't really touting him as like the big bad of the season, but there were vibes of that for me going in, and so I don't know. Maybe my expectations should have been different. I guess I don't know, because I guess at the end of the day, this show is really about the dynamic between Daredevil and Kingpin, and the way they're playing off each other, and like you just said, Mike, their whole deal of I won't do my thing if you don't do your thing, and blah blah blah. I'll come after you if you do, and all this. Their truce. So now that that's starting to unravel, things are going to get really interesting. And for a vigilante ban is definitely at hand, I would say. But it was still a good episode this week. I still liked it. I'm still waiting for the scene of unless I've blanked it out of my mind already. He didn't tell the girlfriend who he really is yet, did he?
No, she's getting inklings.
She's got an idea, I think. Yeah. So I hate one of my least favorite superhero storylines is when they have the significant other who doesn't know who they are, and they have to be all secretive and shit, and it just causes unnecessary conflict. And I'm like, I know it conflict in fiction is supposed to drive the story forward, but it's unnecessary in my opinion. I hate it.
I don't like the Lois and Clark relationship.
I mean, I don't know. We could go into that if we want, but I'm not going to. I have varying opinions. But anyway, no, it's a trope I just don't care for. So hopefully it gets resolved soon. But either way, the show continues to be really good. Yes. Well, next thing I will say, that I've also been rewatching The Last of Us season 1. Introducing the boyfriend to that show because he hadn't seen it. And
he will be.
I can't remember if he played the game or not. But I don't think he did. But anyway, basically, we've been rewatching that. We were watching it on binge. And now we're watching it on Max. I am also now subscribed to Max, and I need to
binge.
Remind myself to cancel my binge. The only thing about losing binge that makes me sad is that I won't be able to watch SNL whenever I want. But
sure you can.
Apart from that, whatever. Sure you can. But anyway, it's good. It's good to rewatch. Today we literally just watched episodes 4 and 5. So the Henry and Sam stuff. And I won't say anything else. Fully has seen the playthrough, so she knows what happens to them. I don't know why I'm being cagey. But
she doesn't
I am not.
remember David. So.
I'm not looking forward to Henry and Sam. That broke me a bit. Yeah.
I will say they do a very good job of adapting the story to the show. I
That's
think
good to know.
because I did the same thing as you. I watched the playthrough before I watched the show. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's been good to rewatch that, and he's enjoying it. So that's good. So we have 4 more episodes to watch sometime in the next week. So next Monday night we can sit down together and watch episode 1, season 2, and brace ourselves. So that's really good. And then the just spooky that you said what you said, Mike, because the reason I got HBO Max was so we could watch Batman Forever on Friday. The exact same reason.
Could have been Tombstone. Could have been
anything.
Bang Bang Shotgun. Could have been
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang Heat
Kiss,
or
Kiss,
whatever.
Bang,
Bang. Yeah, Batman Forever. So
and
so I watched. We actually did. Well, we did a Val Kilmer double header because my partner had seen Top Secret.
Yes.
And I hadn't seen it, so he was like, "We should." Well, he's like, "Do you want to watch that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to." And yeah, so that was fun. I mean, it's made by the same guys that did the Airplane and all of that. So very, very funny. And Val Kilmer's really good in it. I had a good time with that film. And then immediately after we checked on Batman Forever, and I've seen that like somewhere between 10 and 20 times. I watched it religiously as a kid. I think I remember seeing it at the cinema. Like I feel like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin are 2 of my early cinema experiences that I can recall. So that was fun. I could almost quote the movie back word for word in a lot of parts, and I didn't because some people find that annoying. And
don't worry, I do the same thing, and it does bug people. I found out the hard way.
But it was
Stop
good.
it.
It was good. It was good to rewatch. And because I really liked Val Kilmer's Batman a lot, and boyfriend hadn't seen it since the cinema, so he hadn't seen it in 30 years. So it was almost like he was watching it for the first time again, which was cool. And then, funny coincidence, Michael Goff, who plays Alfred, is also in Top Secret.
Oh.
He plays the German or Austrian scientist that they have to rescue, and it's the father of like his love interest. So I almost wanted to make a joke about, like, because the first scene in Batman Forever is one of the first scenes is Batman and Alfred, and I'm like, so things worked out then,
Would you like to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll get drive-through. Yeah, good stuff. So that was really good. Sad occasion we will talk about soon, but yes, good to revisit. And then I guess the last thing I need to talk about is Invincible, because I finished season 3.
What,
I literally sat down Tuesday night and I started watching from where I was up to, which was like episode 4 or something. And I'm like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to watch the rest of it. Wow. The gamut of emotions was just going through me the entire time. The fucking writing on this thing is so good. And one of my friends who's read the comics, he basically said, like, this is Robert Kirkman having a second pass at Invincible, getting another chance to kind of tell the story, because it clearly there's bits and pieces in there that are either new or more developed for the for TV. So that's really kind of cool to hear him say that. But just can just someone just give Mark a break, please? Just let the boy have a life
No.
without any tragedy and like
With great power
God.
comes
Yeah,
also great responsibility.
Yeah, and lots of death. Yeah, it was a lot. It was amazing. I really liked it. Like, I think my favorite episode of the whole season was the one with Aaron Paul, which was episode 6, I think. If I think there's eight episodes, a lot, 6 or 7. I can't remember if there's 8 or 9 episodes. But anyway, it's a couple of episodes from the end when he like plays this character who's, lost his sister and niece when Omni-Man and Invincible were fighting at the end of season 1, and then he's like held on to this the whole time and come up with a way to exact his revenge. And then, my God, like, I think Aaron Paul needs an Emmy for his performance in that. Like, they don't reward voice actors enough, and he just fucking crushed it. But like, he was being like, I could understand where he was coming from, and then like the most awful thing that could have possibly ever happened to him at the end of that episode, and I was just like, oh my God, like the wind fell out from under me. I was just like, oh, no. Yeah,
I
that was
had
a
to
lot.
pause and take a walk.
Oh, I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, and then the way it ended with, Mr. Douche Canoe, Angstrom Levy coming back. Of course it was going to be him who was, watching the whole time. And, having all these different versions of Invincible come across and fucking annihilate everything, and then for it to get wrapped up only for bloody Jeffrey Dean Morgan Conquest to show up and yeah, wreck shop, literally. I did see some criticism around the choice of Conquest to be the villain at the end of the show, because they're like, oh, we've never met him before, he has no emotional connection to Mark, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's not the point. The point is that the Viltrumites were going to come back eventually, and they've sent their worst fucking one to deal with Earth and deal with Mark. The emotional connection is already there. I don't understand that complaint whatsoever. So I thought he was fantastic. I thought the finale was amazing. And then just crying because fucking, I never thought I'd be sad about what's his name? Jason Mantzoukas' character getting killed off, but I'm sad. Spoilers. I'm sad. And then when what happened to Eve happened, I was bawling. I was just like, no. Just spent a lot of bawling, screaming at the TV watching this show. Yeah, but it all came together beautifully, and I look forward to where the story is going. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I remember watching that, and I was watching it with my wife, and it says, you are not going to get any context of this, but I need to actually watch this. And it was just, like, this is the first thing that she's seen from Invincible. It's like, this show is fucked up. And it's like, it's usually good, but this is really the worst one of what's happening.
Yeah.
As we were having like special lunch, like it's a KFC, whatever, and we were watching it, and it's like I had to stop eating because it was like her face is all fucked up. It's like and I really thought she was dead.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, just like, how dare you show, and then she went fucking Sailor Moon and just
Phoenix Force.
well, Phoenix, yeah, it had Sailor Moon vibes the way that like she transformed, but yeah, Phoenix, very Phoenix like of you know, tapping into her full power and being able to reform herself.
My full
Didn't f-
potential.
Didn't feel like a cop out either, because we didn't know she could do that. So,
As if you've seen the what would you call it? Special?
oh, the like one-off thing. I haven't watched it still. So
Yeah, that sort of helps explain what's happening here. So
okay, all right, they
put
do
that
go
on
into
your
it
list.
there, then. I should definitely get around to it. It's been out for a couple of years now. I'm a bit late to the party, but that's fine. But yeah, it's been a fantastic week of watchings, for good and for bad. But that's it for me, which means
I'm so
now
lonely.
we must get into the week that was in the nerdy news.
In the nerdy news, I'm going to turn it down before it blows my ears.
This is the news in nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Hello. It's nerdy news time. And we have to start the news sad. Which again has just been happening too much lately. Because obviously, as we've already mentioned, last week, we lost the great Val Kilmer, at the age of 65. This is just very surprising, considering, you know, he was cancer free. You know, he was on the mend, and according to his, you know, family, he had so much energy and life still in him and all this stuff. But then, you know, one bout of pneumonia and his I guess his weakened body just couldn't power through it, and it's just awful to see. Especially because I don't know if either of you watched the documentary that his son made about him called Val. Came out a couple of years ago. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Please watch it. Please watch it. I recommend. It's such a good insight into who he was as an artist and a performer. He talks about all of his movie making experiences, you know, and there's so much footage because he filmed everything. He always had a camera. So there's all this behind the scenes footage from like Top Gun and you know, the infamous Island of Dr. Moreau. And, you know, he talks about Batman and everything, and just, yeah. It's a great thing. And I didn't know he, you know, was such an artist and, like, you know, painted and did all this stuff, and like it's just really, really cool. So yeah, I, you know, grew up obviously watching him as Batman. I can't remember if I saw Batman Forever before I saw any other Batman, though. Probably did. I'm just guessing. I don't remember, but I always was very drawn to his performance. You know, I think it was a really good kind of, you know, he kind of nailed both halves of Batman, I think, in a really interesting kind of way. And it would have been really nice to have seen him do a bit more with the character, because those films are very superficial. Especially the Schumacher ones. The Tim Burton ones are a different story, but I think the Schumacher ones, you know, they don't, the plot is very thin and doesn't really go too much. You know, I mean, they touch on a bit of his Bruce Wayne's, like, you know, past with his parents and why he became Batman and all this stuff, and that's kind of cool to see and hear him talk about. And so he gets a couple of moments where he gets to really shine as an actor. But yeah, he didn't have a great experience making the movie, which he talks about in the documentary. Yeah, so many movies. I mean, Top Gun, a lot of people have been talking about Top Gun. Obviously, Tom Cruise paid a lovely tribute to him at CinemaCon last week, which was really nice. You know, Iceman is just one of the all-time classic movie antagonists. Val Kilmer is just excellent in that role. He was born to play it. Kind of one of the roles that really propelled him in the 80s to kind of, superstar sort of status. I still need to watch The Doors. I've been meaning to watch that for years. Same with Heat. I really want to watch Heat as well because he's in that with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. So many good movies. He had such an impact on so many people, and it was really sweet to see the tributes that flowed this week for him. But it was just such a shock. It really stopped me in my tracks when I got my mum texted me when I was at work, and I was just, oh fuck, it's just sad. But he's never going to be forgotten. You get to play Batman, you pretty much get to live forever. No pun intended. But yeah, he will be missed by so many people, and we love and appreciate him as an artist and a human. So thank you, Val, for your work. All right, before I get extra emotional, Fulya, do you have any words for the passing of the late Val Kilmer?
Unfortunately, I never actually remembered any of his roles. I don't think I've really watched much that he's sort of performed in, and even if I have, I think most of the things that he's been in have been like small roles, like a little bit of voice acting in some movies. Like I think he voice acted in the Planes films, the Disney Pixar Planes. He had a character in that. He's also been in, random episodes of shows that I've seen that I unfortunately don't remember because it's only like one episode, sort of an appearance. But yeah, I definitely know of him and that he was definitely a legend in the entertainment industry. So, a big bucket of wind. Unfortunately. So, yeah, may he rest in peace.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fulya. Mike, how are you feeling at the loss of Val Kilmer this week?
Pretty bummed. Like, he was a sort of actor that knew the sort of stories that he wanted to do. Like, you got all the like the special ones, like the Tombstone, and like actual stories that you can sink your teeth into of doing like a bit of a drama. But he knew when to like turn on the the silliness, like the Top Secret and the MacGruber, where he plays a cunt. Spelt Cunth. So that's a good one. And
That's good.
yeah, and he was still playing it ever since he did unfortunately lost his voice to cancer, and he was in a Jay and Silent Bob reboot where he played he played which one, Blunt Man or Chronic? I can never remember.
I think he was Blunt Man because the whole point was like a Batman actor playing the quasi Batman character.
Yeah,
I think that's how it went. Yeah.
There was 4 Batmans in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, including Ben Affleck and shame. Yeah, he will be missed. He was also in Willow as well.
Yeah.
Which I saw not too long ago when I was determined to watch the Willow series, and then they decided to take it off.
Yeah.
So now, piece of lost media. Unless you know how to torrent. Anyway. Yeah, it's pretty sad. And yeah, my wife's a big fan. Like, reason why she wanted to watch Batman Forever, and we were going to watch Top Gun, but then she said she was committed into a one of her friends wanted to watch it with her, and it says, "Oh, when can we watch it?" It's like, "Oh, we can do double date." It's like, it'll be too soon. MacGruber. I haven't seen MacGruber in a while, and we'll talk about that of why MacGruber went into my head in a later date in the show. So keep you posted. I'm doing some cookies. Doing some cookies in the show. Yeah. Will be missed. He so many movies that I need to knock it down and see, like Tombstone and Heat, and I think I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's good.
But definitely Dr. Moreau. He's up there with just the craziness of that movie.
Oh man, it's nuts though.
There is a documentary about that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to watch that too. I don't think I've seen it. I just know of the crazy shit. Anyway, here's to you, Val. Water.
Absolutely. Water. Thank you, Mike. All right. Let's pick it up now as we move into some spider tingly related news. Because last week, CinemaCon happened in Las Vegas. There was a lot of shiny things shown inside and outside of the walls of the auditorium that, lots of exciting announcements. We're just going to talk about a couple of things. The first of is Spider-Man 4. Tom Holland's upcoming Spider-Man 4 has a name now. It's called Brand New Day. And it will be coming out on, I had the release date, where is it? Next year, 2026, in July 31st. So nice birthday present, sort of, for Fulya next year.
The day after.
The day after, yes. Close enough.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah. Brand New Day. It's going to be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who gave us Shang-Chi. He was going to be directing Kang Dynasty, Avengers Kang Dynasty, when that was still the name of it, but obviously that went kaputs. So yeah, he's going to be doing a Spider-Man film, so that's really exciting. They're filming it at the moment, I believe. And yeah, but a lot of people are talking about what the title is in reference to, because there's actually a comic book run called Brand New Day. And it's quite a controversial comic book run, because basically kind of similar to No Way Home in a sense, because Aunt May dies, and then Peter makes a deal with Mephisto to bring her back, and in exchange he sacrifices his marriage to Mary Jane. And a lot of fans didn't like it when it was first released. So people are kind of speculating what's going to happen here. Obviously, with No Way Home, we've already touched on some of that. Aunt May sadly did die in that film. And you know, Peter made his bargain with not with Mephisto, but with Doctor Strange to have everyone forget that he's Spider-Man. So, and now at the end of that movie, we go into a world where no one knows who Peter Parker is, let alone that he's Spider-Man. So it's going to be interesting to see where they're taking this story based on the name. But I suppose it makes sense to call it Brand New Day as well, just for the sense that they've reset the world a bit. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. And then the other bit of Spider-Man news that we had was Sony Animated Pictures unveiled a release date for Beyond the Spider-Verse. And it's coming out in, I'm very slow on the uptake today. It's coming out in 2027 on the 4th of June. So 11 months, give or take, after Spider-Man Brand New Day, we'll be finally be getting Beyond the Spider-Verse, and that's going to be 4 years after Across the Spider-Verse came out, which is crazy to me considering we were promised this movie last year, and then they were like, no, we need to stop. We're rushing. The animators, they're under duress and stress from this whole thing. Like, it's crazy, the work conditions they were putting them through. So they've put the brakes on. And they're like, let's get this right. Let's get all the time that they need to do this. So yeah, June 2027 is when we'll get to conclude Miles Morales' trilogy. But the cool thing too is that they showed us a few images. They gave us a little display, basically just images of Miles in action. One of him and Gwen that looked really cool with like the sun in the background. Like the animation was like kind of cool there, and then there are a couple of shots of Miles's version of the Prowler, the alternate Miles that we met at the end of Across the Spider-Verse. So yeah, lots of stuff happening in the Spider-Man world, but we're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see anything. Fulya, does this excite you at all? Hearing we're finally getting some dates and we can mark our calendars for these movies.
Actually kind of happy to see that we're finally getting, some form of release date or release window at least, in terms of when we're going to be able to see these. Spider-Man Brand New Day, that one, my merch manager explained, because he's a big Marvel fan, he knows about the Spider-Man stuff, and he pretty much told me all about the Brand New Day comic series. Nice. And I was just like taken aback by what we'd be expecting from this story. So I'm very intrigued by this. I want to know how this is all going to turn out. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be very sort of mind twisty kind of stuff that's going to be happening, especially with a lot of time jumps and rejigging everything, and considering how No Way Home ended, with everybody not knowing who Peter Parker was, or at least not knowing that he was Spider-Man and all that sort of stuff. And that is going to be really interesting in Brand New Day. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this all goes. Very excited. Lots of hype. I am also very much excited about Beyond the Spider-Verse. I love the art style of this series, of these Spider-Verse movies. I'm just so hyped to see like the images that they've already released for it. It looks awesome. The color palette, it blows my mind how talented these animators are. These artists, they're so good. And yeah, just from the few images that we got from that movie, I am extra excited to see this. But I need to cool my jets because I have to wait until 2027 for this.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that is such a long way away. I'm like, as soon as I saw the news that, we saw the pictures, and then I saw the release year, and I'm like, why? I almost cried. I was like, but I need it.
Yeah.
But it's okay. They need to do their thing, let it cook. They're very talented, and I want to make sure I want them to make sure that it all looks good and it's all 100% ready to go, so that they don't have any issues when it comes to trying to get it released on time. So take your time. I'm okay with that. It's okay. But I am very excited.
Nice. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Mike, how are you feeling about the Spider-Man news this week?
I'm thinking, just because it's called Brand New Day, it could be a completely different story and not necessarily the same one. Because as you said, they basically did the same story, and it also takes place in the middle of Doomsday and Secret Wars. So wherever it's going to be located, it's either going to be before Doomsday, during Doomsday, after Doomsday. So, and would explain why Spider-Man's probably not in Doomsday, but we don't know that yet. But who knows? Spider-Verse, the third one of the trilogy, is interesting because what was the previous one? It goes across, beyond.
It was into, across, and beyond.
Into, across, and beyond. Okay, so the last one was in 2003.
2023.
So my son was 2, and he's going to be 6 when this comes out. That's a lot, and he enjoys it. Or the flashy colours. So he's probably going to see this in the cinemas. Will this be the first movie that he will see that's not some bullshit Minions movie? Hopefully. Yeah. You like Spider-Man. Keep that up. Because I like Spider-Man too.
Good.
And he wasn't even around when Into the Spider-Verse came in.
No.
I'm done.
Okay, great.
Don't know what that.
Thank you for that. All right. Our next item of news also came out of CinemaCon, and that is big news for Beatles fans. The biopic is moving forward, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times. There are going to be 4 movies. Apparently that news was announced last year. I can't remember if we talked about it or not. But they are making 4. Yeah, they're making 4 movies, 1 for each of the Beatles. But the thing I don't think that they confirmed was that they're all going to come out at the same time. They are all going to be released in cinemas on April 2028. This is going to be nuts. It's going to be Beatlemania all over again.
I thought it was 1 week after the other.
Oh, I mean, it could be 1 week after the other. The article I'm reading says that all 4 films are set for release in April 2028. So it probably is 1 week after the other. But I haven't seen that statement, so that's on me. Anyway, so yeah, Sam Mendes is the director. Sam Mendes, of course, known most recently for doing some of the James Bond movies. And yeah, there were rumors about who the cast was going to be, and now we have some confirmation about who is going to play each of the Beatles. And it's just basically a group of the internet's boyfriends, which is just makes me happy because one of them is my favorite.
You.
It says me, who lives on Tumblr still.
Not my boyfriends.
Not my boyfriend. So yes, so we're going to be having Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney. Harris Dickinson will be John Lennon. Joseph Quinn, who's about to be the Human Torch in Fantastic Four, he's going to be George Harrison. And Barry Keoghan is going to be Ringo Starr.
The Joker.
Yes. The almost Joker. Yeah, so I'm excited to watch these when they come out. it's I don't really know too much about the Beatles story myself. I haven't really engaged with a lot of their stuff that much, apart from what everyone knows about them just in the general sphere of pop culture. But I'm really happy with the casting. I think the casting is really good. So all these actors are very, very talented. So that's going to be great for them. To see what they can do. It's gonna be interesting. Very, very interesting take on a biopic doing 4 movies. So yeah,
A quadrilogy.
a quadrilogy. It remains to be seen if it'll be necessary or not, because a lot of us complain about movies being split into 2. So will this being 4 movies make sense or not? But I suppose them as the Beatles does only encompass a short period of time in the grand scheme of things, considering they broke up in 1970, I think, and then all went on to have their various solo efforts. So yeah, I know I'm looking forward to it. But we still have a few years to wait. Fulya, are you interested in checking these out? Does any of this news pique your curiosity?
Not really. I don't think I was ever really a Beatles fan, to be honest, and I don't think I really grew up on their music much. So this for me is a bit of a, yeah, that's cool. More power to the people who want this and who will probably enjoy it more than I would. But 4 movies, I wonder why they decided to go with 4. Like my brain goes to maybe they're gonna tell each of the singers' stories potentially in
That's
each
the
of the
plan.
movies.
That's
Yeah,
what they're doing.
yeah. So I don't know. Like I feel like it just seems a bit much. Why can't you just tell it in one? For a biopic, like 4
Mm.
full length. Yeah,
Well,
I know.
that's what I was saying with the Beatles were only around for less than 10 years,
Yeah,
right? Like that's
yeah.
not much of a movie in there, right?
Not really.
So
Mm.
maybe that's why they made the decision.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, it's not really something that I'm really interested in.
Totally fair. Totally
Yeah.
fair. Yeah. That's totally fair. Mike, what about you? Does this interest you in any shape or form?
I'm same as Fulya. Not that big of a fan of the Beatles, but know of them because it's the fucking Beatles. But I am intrigued on the way they're going around doing this. Like doing 4 separate movies, but interconnected. So I can't wait for the Peter Jackson supercut of an 8-hour film. That will be awesome. I mean, we've sort of seen that with what's the in the studio ones that's on Disney Plus that have been where they make an album. Let It Be, and I think there's another one.
Oh yeah, Peter Jackson made a Beatles doco, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a huge fan of the Beatles, so I'm surprised he hasn't latched onto
Back,
it.
I think, or
Yeah.
now it was Now and Then or Get Back, something like that.
I think there was multiple ones.
Yeah. Get Back is a series they did, documentary series, and it covers the making of Let It Be.
Yeah, like each episode is like two hours, so the appetite is there for people to watch this. So, but brilliant marketing, I reckon, doing a quadrilogy biopic on the same band. I'm hoping this is not going to be a thing to do. Like,
they're not setting a precedent.
Yeah, I hope not. Can you imagine just the favoritism? It's like we all want to see Paul and John. And unfortunately, Ringo's probably not going to hit $1 billion.
I know that was the other thing I was wondering. I'm like, the grosses, the individual grosses in all these films are going to be really telling. Yeah. Oh boy.
Hopefully they'll talk about George and how he is the sole. He's pretty much the sole not benefactor, like contributor. The sole contributor to Life of Brian.
Oh yeah. That he bankrolled.
Yeah.
That movie.
It's like, why did you give all the money to Life of Brian? Well, I want to see it. And that's the thing too. There's going to be a string of Liverpudlian accents like just everywhere now. Help us. Lucy in the sky, no diamonds though. So get ready for that. Especially for me.
It'll be a time. All right, let's move on to our last thing in the news. Because outside of CinemaCon, there was another huge announcement last week. Filled with lots of goodies in the gaming world.
Tariffs.
Trump's tariffs. Ugh. No.
Well, it is connected to the Switch.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, what timing?
Yeah, terrible. Yes, Nintendo unveiled. We already knew it was coming, the Nintendo Switch 2, but we got our first fully loaded look at the console and the pricing and the games and the tech behind it. I'm now going to take a back seat as I throw to you two, the lovely gamers of the pod, especially Fulya, who's the Nintendo queen, I think, at this point. Please talk us through. I'm excited to see your reactions and how you guys are feeling about the Switch 2, because personally, I feel like they may be overcharging for some things, but well, inflation's a thing, I guess. So.
Well, we shall start with the fact that this console is releasing sooner than we thought. It is coming to stores on the 5th of June, and here in Australia, pre-orders have already begun at JB Hi-Fi, Big W, and EB Games. So there's a lot to this console that we got to see out of the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. First of all, we found out all of the specs. Now, Nintendo doesn't normally go out of its way to talk about like very in-depth details on specs for their console. For this time around, the Nintendo Switch 2 has some really interesting specs, including a 7.9-inch built-in LCD screen, which can deliver HD at 1080p. That has never been doable on a Nintendo console. With that, when you dock it and play it off the TV, it outputs at 4K, up to 120 frames per second from a Switch.
People bitching that the Switch is just batshit. There you go. Plonk.
This news kind of flabbergasted me because I thought, we'll see. So that means it's a bigger Switch compared to the first one. It's not an OLED screen; it's an LCD screen. But I would have a feeling that down the track they might release an OLED version at some point, depending on how well the console sells, which I'm pretty sure it will sell quite a lot, especially with a lot of Nintendo fans that are out there. It's going to have a 256 gigabyte internal storage compared to the original Switch, which only had about, what was it, like 32 gigabytes, which was like nothing. But it's expandable with a micro SD. However, you cannot use the current micro SD card to be able to play off your Switch 2. You have to use Express branded, SanDisk Express micro SD cards. So they're special SD cards.
Wow.
It's so special.
Very
So
special.
special.
Give me money.
Yeah. Another thing is that the Joy-Con 2 controllers are magnetic, so they attach magnetically to the console. They've upgraded the stand if you want to play it in tabletop mode.
Mine broke off.
That thing is so shitty. It's so flimsy. But this one actually takes up the whole length of the actual console itself, and it's adjustable. There are 2 USB-C ports. So if you're playing it docked, it'll use the bottom USB-C port, but there's also a USB-C port on the top where you can connect a charger to it on the top if you're in tabletop mode. Or, and get this, you can connect other USB-C items. For example, they are bringing out a camera that you can use as if you were using the Nintendo Switch version of Discord. That is right, friends. Nintendo Switch is getting game chat. They finally integrated a chat system into the console itself, rather than having to grab your phone, install an app, and use the voice chat from there.
And how do we feel about that? Because I've heard mixed emotions.
Yeah, look, when that part of the video popped up in the direct, I will say they didn't shy away from the fact that it's not gonna look the greatest when you're chatting. They didn't. They were being honest. They were being very honest.
For instance?
Yeah. For instance, they mentioned the fact that the microphone that's built into the Switch itself is gonna clearly catch your voice. So clear, in fact, that if there is a blender going in the background, it will still hear you.
Ooh.
We shall see.
I don't know.
But it's AI. It'll work.
I don't know if that's gonna work, especially when you're sitting a distance away from the TV itself and the Switch is next to the TV and the couch is a bit of a distance away. Yeah, I don't know that that's gonna be the greatest sound. You're definitely still gonna hear that blender. But I will be shocked if you do not, and it actually works really well. So that's fine.
I mean, how far is your couch to your television?
It is a little bit of a distance. I mean, I say a distance. It's not like I'm not right up close to it. It's like 2 or 3 meters away from the TV. So, or where I sit normally, but yeah.
Try 7.
Yeah, well, see, a few other things that you'll be able to get with the console. So the Switch 2 console itself will include in the packaging this console, Joy-Con 2 controllers left and right. You'll get a Joy-Con 2 grip. You'll also get the straps for the Joy-Cons. You'll get a dock. You'll get the ultra high speed HDMI cable and the AC adapter and a USB-C charging cable. So that's all going to be in the box. There's going to be 2 options. There's going to be 2 SKUs. One is just the console. The other one is the console packaged with Mario Kart World, which is the launch title game coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And that game actually looks pretty cool. It looks awesome. They've got like different modes in this game. It's almost like a Forza Horizon style of open world racing. And I kind of like that.
It's like
With
Skyrim.
With Mario characters. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So there is that. That is the launch title with the actual console. The one thing that I will say, and not just Mario Kart, but the titles that they announced at the Direct that are coming to Switch 2, the prices for these games are insane. They are over $100 each. So when you're picking up your console, you'd be better off buying the Mario Kart World bundle because it's cheaper. It comes out as being cheaper than buying the game separately. It really is. Yeah. So the console itself is going to cost 699 Australian dollars. But if you get the bundle, it's $749. So you pay an extra $50 and you get Mario Kart World. Whereas the game on its own, I think it's like $120. Yeah.
This sounds like it's cheaper to buy a new printer than buying buying a cartridge.
This Nintendo Switch 2, $699 just on its own. That's the same price as a original launch PS5 console in the digital form. That's how much the PS5 was, the digital one, at launch. It was $699. And now we have a Nintendo console that's going to be $699.
Now, do we think that's too much, or does it make sense?
So, for me, it's a bit much for a Nintendo console. Considering the fact that the Nintendo Switches that I have were the original ones, so not the OLED ones. I paid, I think it was like $3.99, maybe a little bit cheaper because it was there were some sales at the time. And so yeah, $3.99. That was actually not too bad for a handheld console that you could still play docked on the TV. This one, however, is taking into account a lot of the new hardware components to make so that it upgrades the resolution and to play better quality games, and all the other extra components that they decided to add in as well. But I feel like, at least for me, $6.99 just feels a bit too much. And not to mention the fact that if you're looking at, say you wanted to get the bundle, that's $7.49. You want to go out of your way to buy maybe one extra game, that's already going to cost you, that's already going to round up to about $8.50 roughly. I don't know, maybe a little bit less than $8.50. But then consider the fact that if you want to also grab some of the new accessories that are sold separately, like the camera itself, if you wanted to use the camera. And then you also consider the fact that a lot of these, if you wanted to get like the Pro controller, you could be looking at paying almost $1,000 just on a Nintendo Switch with some accessories and maybe a game or two. That is nuts. That is absolutely crazy. I was a bit shocked at the price, to be honest. But for me personally, I don't think I'm going to be day one on this. I'm definitely not going to be picking this up. I'm not pre-ordering. I am going to wait. I'm a little bit sad because there are some game titles that have been announced already that I would love to be able to play right now, like at launch if I could, or whenever those games come out, but they're exclusive to the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So I won't be able to play those on my original Switch at all. I have to get the Switch 2 to be able to play them. For instance, Mario Kart World. There's new DLC coming to Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which is a game that I absolutely found love with on the Switch. But the DLC for that game is a Switch 2 exclusive.
That's shit.
Yeah.
That's a dick.
I'm not happy about that. And there's some other titles. They've also announced that a lot of the first party Nintendo games will also get Switch 2 editions, so that they're up-resed, they're remastered, so that they look better on the Switch 2. Which a lot of people are very happy about, because that's what they've been wanting for a very long time. Including Pokemon games, because in the past Pokemon games haven't really been looking that great on the Switch. So the fact that they're going to get Switch 2 versions of these games, I'm happy for people. They're going to get better quality looking images and gaming out of the new console. I just know, for me personally, it's a bit much, considering the fact that I'm also not really playing my Switch much in recent times. I'm mostly on my PC or on my PlayStation or my Steam Deck. I recently bought the Steam Deck back in November of last year. So that is my handheld console at the moment. I haven't really been touching my Switch 2 at all. I recently just upgraded to a new gaming PC, and I am now able to play the games that I've been wanting to play for a very long time on my gaming PC. So for me right now, it's out of my budget, and I'm not overly excited about the prices either, especially for the games. The games being over $100 for Nintendo is insane. It's essentially double the price, Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure whether I'll be day one, and no, I'm not sure that it's gonna last very long in terms of the pricing, but I don't know. I just know that I won't be buying it day one. It's just too much for me. How do you feel about it, Michael? What do you feel? How do you feel about like the pricing and just the console itself?
I really enjoyed the Direct.
Mm-hmm.
It's nicely shaped, and
it's a really presented Direct. It was definitely really nice.
Yeah, all the specs in it. It's like, you're doing something, Nintendo. You're actually giving us what we want, like upgrade, and it can be a handheld as well as a platformer. And because of the new specs, like the controller can be a mouse now.
Yeah. So cool. the Joy-Con can also be used as a mouse. So that, which also brings into the fact that games that will usually are on PC can now be brought to Switch 2 with the mouse movements.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Like Borderlands 4 is coming to the Switch, and
yeah, it is.
Or these other third parties are saying, we can.
Elden Ring is coming to Switch 2.
Elden Ring, yeah.
A Souls game.
A Souls game.
Oh boy,
that's good. And I'm a little bit hesitant on the price, but sort of makes sense with essentially you're buying a new PC.
Almost, yeah. You're pretty much halfway there.
Yeah. Camera, nah. I've got kids. As long as they're arm's way from the internet, I'm happy. But they would get more out of it than me, because I can't play my Switch now because it's broken. But the idea was to get new Switch because of the backwards
compatibility. Yeah.
But on certain games.
On certain games, yeah.
I need to find a list, because I probably have one or two that probably won't. So, and I was actually thinking of getting my daughter, who's the eldest, her own one. What do you call them?
Okay. The Switch Lite.
Lite, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe get a yellow one. I don't know. And then I can and when she's at school, I can play it myself.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. I am between a rock and a hard place. It's like, yes, the playback ability would suffice the price because I got kids, and it is a very kid friendly console.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but the price.
I was gonna say, as a family man, a father
As a
with
family
kids.
guy.
Like obviously when it especially when it comes to like the Nintendo Switch, it's definitely a family friendly console. I can see that the price would definitely deter a lot of families, and I'm from what you've pretty much said, it sounds like it's going to be a hard sell for most families. Yeah.
I was hoping them pushing it to Christmas, then it'll be Christmas.
Look, I would be surprised if by the time Christmas sales come around or Black Friday, they might have a sale on it, but the price probably won't go down much at all. Maybe not at all, because of it's just like it's a new release year, like a launch year. But they might do like a different kind of bundle, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, as I said, buy it like a printer. You buy a new console for the next game. And I'm glad that I'm Australian and not American, so the price might be going up.
Yeah, kind of sucks right now for North America.
Oh.
Anyway, less said than better. At least we have a good relationship with Japan. So, Anyway.
That's the other thing. If you want to pre-order directly from the Nintendo store, the online store, they've got their pre-orders opening up on the 9th, which is in a couple of days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might bite the bullet and actually go through EB. Because essentially they're $1 difference between that and JB. Sorry, guys. Probably not this time.
A whole $1.
Damn.
I need more carrots.
You need your carrots.
I need more carrots.
Well, actually, no. It'll be 95 cents. It'll be $6.99.95.
Yeah. JB.
That's how EB rolls.
Fantastic. Anyway, on that note,
yes.
If you guys are good, I say we carry on to the next segment.
Awesome.
Which is, of course, us rolling on up to the trailer park.
Trailer park. Where is the file? It's right there.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers.
Okay, it's trailer park time. Our first trailer is for an upcoming Star Wars animated series called Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. This looks really good. I'm keen to watch this. I'm keen to learn more about Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane, especially Cad Bane, because notably in this trailer he doesn't have the pipes coming out of his throat at this point. So that's kind of cool. What happened there? His backstory seems really interesting, based on what we saw. So yeah, it looks really good, and it looks like high drama, lots of tension, suspense, and and good world building. Out of Star Wars. So yeah, I don't have too much to say other than it just looks really good, and I can't wait to sit down and watch it. To be honest, this was a very good trailer, so I'm hyped. Let's go, bring it. Fulya, what did you think?
Oh, I'm also hyped. I am very excited for Tales of the Underworld. I really enjoyed Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Sith, I think it was. And I'm really looking forward to this because this is a little bit different. We're learning about, characters that we don't always see, that we didn't get to see as much but they did make appearances, and it's going to be so cool to see, where, Asajj Ventress ended up and like how she started and all that sort of stuff. And then Cad Bane's sort of history. And it's like, it just seems like it's going to be really, really cool. And in terms of its story. So I am very looking forward to this particular series. And I love that these Tales series are also shorts as well. They're like short form stories in the episodes. So yeah, definitely looking forward to Tales of the Underworld. Gonna be good.
Yeah, gonna be so good. Mike, are you hyped as well for this one?
Yeah, pretty hyped. I wasn't quite sure if they were going to do another one because, yeah, we did Jedi and Sith. What else is there? But looks like they've found a little nugget of a little snapshot of these particular characters, and well, considering there hasn't really been any word of another like animated series after Bad Batch, which was really good, and we haven't had word about anything else as well. But can't wait. Can't wait to see what these characters are up to. With the Cat Bane and the interests. It's gonna be good. But when is this going to be coming out?
Yes, well, of course. What other day would this be coming out than on May the 4th?
Heck yeah.
Be with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember that year.
Yes, it'll be out on the 4th of May, so just under a month now.
It's
until that
gonna be
drops on Disney
May.
Plus. It's gonna be May. Yeah. And that's a Sunday from memory.
Sunday.
All right, moving on. Our second trailer. It was a teaser trailer that came out of CinemaCon last week, and this is our first look at the reimagining. I don't think it's a remake at this point, or just rebooted version of The Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson. This was crazy. I might watch this just based on the team behind it. Like, it's directed by Akiva Goldsman, Seth MacFarlane's a producer. And I've never really seen Liam Neeson do an out-and-out comedic performance, kind of like what this is going to be. Like, he's definitely got it in him, but like to just go no holds barred, winking at the camera and everything, breaking the fourth wall and all of that stuff is just, yeah, going to be interesting to see. So it was a cool little tease, and then the bit at the end where they're all like, crying at the photos of all their fathers, and then you get the OJ reference, and it was just like, oh god, they went there. That was fantastic. So yeah, I'm interested. They've got my attention. What about you, Fulya?
So I feel like my dad was the one that probably introduced me to the original Naked Gun. What's his name? Leslie Nelson. And I only remember bits and pieces of watching one of the films. And I feel like he managed to pull it off. Liam Neeson, however, I'm not quite sure I see it coming. I'm watching this trailer. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And by the end of it, I thought, oh, okay, interesting. So he is the son of the Liam Neeson character. Oh man, that like I don't know. This is comedy that's probably got to be more on the cringy side compared to compared to a lot of the other comedies that I've seen in the past, especially action comedies. I don't know that I'm really that interested. I might wait till it comes to a streaming service, maybe. My dad might enjoy this, to be honest. He might have a good laugh. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Mike, what about you? How does this one sit with you?
I knew this was being made and it was going to come out, and just hearing about it, it's like, ooh, really? Do we need to do that? Because Seth MacFarlane's been trying to do this for years, and especially with Liam Neeson, and he was going to direct it as well. Because I think it was like after Ted 2, and that didn't really go well. It was all right, but not as good as the first one. But funny enough, Liam Neeson is actually in the first Ted, and he was in A Million Ways to Die in the West as well. So that working relationship does work, and Liam Neeson was basically playing a character he would play in like The Grey Man or the Taken movies, and I can sort of see where the spark of we can sort of do a Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. Like he can do that sort of very dry humor where the situation is weird, but he's just playing it really straight. And that sort of appeals to me as well. And but I was worried about him directing it as well, because if you're going to do a Naked Gun movie, it's a lot of like stuff is happening in the background as well. So you needed someone like Akiv could actually do that, considering what all the movies that he's done. Like with like Hot Rod all the way with Pop Stars, and even the Chip and Dale movie, he did that one, and that was phenomenal. That was a good surprise. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, where that just balls to the wall, like funny, and concept is great, and yeah. So I'm actually really interested and relieved that it's probably going to be okay. Is it going to be great? I don't know, probably not. But it's going to be a snapshot of like something real fun. And yeah, Liam Neeson being the son of Leslie Nelson. Even the wordplay is great. And yeah, spoof movies need to come back, but they need to be like toned like correctly. Not this epic movie like Meet the Spartans bullshit. But I'm happy. I'm happy that this is coming out, and the poster looks cool. Just Liam Neeson doing the splits, like Van Damme in between those trucks. That's gonna be cool. Yeah, and the AJ. Well, they needed to make some sort of reference, because like the Naked Gun movies were notorious for having OJ in it, like before everything. So that's a bit of fun. So where's this coming out?
Well, the Naked Gun, the continuation, the reboot, the remake, the
newer version.
The newer version, yeah. Will be in cinemas here in Australia on the 28th of August.
I will be there.
Yes, I will probably be there also. we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Cool. We got one more trailer to talk about, and that is for an upcoming Apple TV Plus film, and it's called Fountain of Youth. This looks really good. I mean, they've got me with the cast already. I mean, Natalie Portman's one of my favorite actors. John Krasinski can do no wrong ever. So I'm here. The Tooch is here. I mean, hello. Let's get around that. Yeah. It looks good, and it's it's an action adventure with a bit of comedy maybe in there. I guess it's a Guy Ritchie movie, so there's definitely going to be some humor sprinkled throughout. Some probably expertly crafted sequences, and yeah, it's just got, it kind of had National Treasure vibes for me, like sort of this contemporary treasure hunting kind of a thing going on. Yeah, so it ticked all the boxes for me. I hope it's good. Like I say that I really like this, but I'm not convinced it's going to be a good movie yet. But I know personally, for my money, I will get some enjoyment out of it. So I'm going to be watching this for sure. What did you make of Fountain of Youth, Fulya?
I actually enjoyed this trailer. This looked very much like a kind of like a Indiana Jones kind of a thing, going and searching through like tombs and looking at all of the different many wonders of the world. I kind of like the look of this. There's going to be a lot of history in this as well. So might be edutainment kind of a sort of a deal. And I like the cast. The cast is really cool. Natalie Portman, John Krasinski. Hell yeah. And yeah, no, it looks like it's going to be good fun. It's going to have some good humor in it as well. And I don't think it's going to be too heavy. It's not going to be too heavy on the drama. So I kind of like that in like this style of movie. So, but there's going to be plenty of action, plenty of lots of jumping and sort of trying to steer clear of traps and all that sort of stuff. And I love the fact that they're also going to be delving into some more of the Egyptian mythology and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm actually very interested.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're on the same page here. I like this. Mike, what about you? Are you on the hype train with us?
No. I didn't know what to think of this. I don't know. I'm trying to remember how many Guy Ritchie films I've seen. I think I've seen one or two. So I haven't really keyed into his style. I know he directed the Aladdin live action movie. That's it. Yeah, John Krasinski and Natalie Portman. Yeah, kind of fun. We went from Star Wars, Qui-Gon Jinn, and to Padme. Everything is connected. Haha. Padme Amidala. Or is it the other one? I can't remember. Natalie Portman and yeah, whatever. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, it definitely has that feel of like action adventure, but more suave. Stanley Tucci's in this as well. That's cool.
Yeah.
Stanley. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why I'm not vibing with it, but I'm not vibing with it. Weirdly, it would be something that I would probably get into, but unfortunately, I don't know. I need another trailer, and it's also on Apple Plus, but I assume there's probably going to be a cinema release as well. So cue that here, but. It does remind me that I probably need to get Apple Plus again because tangent right here. I watched The Studio, the Seth Rogen TV show. Before my subscription ran out, unfortunately, And the first 3 episodes is really amazing. I was expecting like good, but this is great. I'm definitely going to be watching that.
Nice.
Yeah, so I do recommend that. But I'm not sure if I can recommend this. So when is this coming out?
Fountain of Youth will be available to watch on Apple TV Plus on the 23rd of May, so very soon as well.
If they do a cinema release, it's a maybe.
Yeah, it's a maybe. All right. Cool. Well, that's Trailer Park. We're rolling on out because it's time for the Wibbly.
Fobby.
The Wobbly.
Wobbly.
The Timey. The Wimey. The Humany. Womany.
The wardrobey. The widowy.
Popcorn culture.
Yes, it's popcorn culture time, and we are talking today about the 2011 Christmas special, The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. Which is, I just love the title because I grew up reading C.S. Lewis and the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, so that just kind of tickles me a bit. And I mean, there's only one kind of obvious reference to that story here that we'll talk about, but yeah, but it was kind of put me in the childhood feels for a second. Yeah, overall thoughts on this Christmas special? It's fine. It's a good story. Like it's safe. It exists. Like I don't know if it's one that I will revisit. I think I still really liked the Christmas Carol one.
Previous one, yeah.
With Michael Gambon. That was the last one. That was very good. That's still living in my brain. So there's some lovely moments in this, like, but it's all kind of just everything happens the way it usually does. The Doctor, noble intentions. I'm gonna bring them to this place, and it's gonna be fine. And then everything is not fine, and then they have to figure out how to get out of it, and then happy ending. Yeah. So kind of, yeah, it's enjoyable, and the performances are very good. But yeah, nothing to write home about, I don't think. But I enjoyed watching it. So, Fulya, what did you think overall?
Yeah, it was a interesting episode, so I didn't mind this particular episode. Looked like it was, good harmless fun, and it had some heart to it as well. Like it was nice that they decided to go with the whole idea of, the widow's partner at war, and it's the husband's supposed to be coming home for Christmas, but unfortunately because of the war, he disappeared. We don't know what happened to him and all that sort of stuff. So, and then trying to find a way to break it to the kids. Yeah, it was definitely kind of heartbreaking at the beginning, and then it sort of warmed up by the end of it. And it was nice. It was nice. I won't say it was like one of the greatest of the Christmas specials, but it was yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice is just a good way of summarizing it, I think. Yeah. Mike, what are your thoughts? How did the rewatch go for you?
Well, this is in the category of I have no memory of this one, and I couldn't remember like different details, and essentially I actually forgot that Bill Bailey was in it, and kind of makes sense because he's only in 2 scenes. So missed potential there. This is probably, if I'm trying to remember like the rest of the Christmas specials, this is probably my least favorite, and probably the one that I do not remember like to go back to. Like, yeah, the previous Christmas special is actually phenomenal, which is good. And this one is just, it's a story that doesn't really mean anything. It sort of started as like, oh, this is an interesting dilemma, but it sort of write itself like too much at the end. Like, it doesn't really matter, really. Yeah, overall, it was okay for just an episode, but it's nothing to remember, and I'll probably forget again in the next 5 years or however long that I've seen it. I don't even remember actually rewatching it, really. I think it's technically attached to the previous episode, the next season, but not really. And yeah, that's all from me.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So I have a question for you while we wait for Fulya to return. The Doctor. I know we've seen in the past and in the future there are episodes where the door to the TARDIS will be open and the void of space is right in front of them, and there's no vacuum, there's no death, suffocation, all of that. And I've always put that down to the TARDIS being the TARDIS, which is, you can. But here, the Doctor, at the beginning of this episode, the Doctor's actually hurtling through space, and he's fine. Apart from, obviously, he needs to get into this suit so he can, safely enter Earth's atmosphere, safely for the Doctor. But can he? So can he actually? I'm guessing it's canon that he can actually survive in space without anything.
Okay, this is the biggest question because there is a lot in this episode that does not make sense, like at all. And this is probably the reason why it's least favorable, because no, that's not possible. That's not canonical.
Right.
And it doesn't make sense. So let's just leave it at red that it's not true, and it's just a happy accident that he could get into a spacesuit in record-breaking time without depressurizing or freezing up or whatever happens to a floating body in space.
Okay, all right, cool. That's fun for the show. That they're not really following any rules.
No rules at all.
But I suppose that's a bit Doctor Who, isn't it? There's a lot of a lot of retconning, a lot of contradictory things happening in terms of what the Doctor can and can't do, and what happens versus doesn't happen, and all this.
I mean, technically, we're not supposed to hear an explosion in space, but there you go.
Yeah, that's just something I think we all, as sci-fi fans, just wave.
Or even seeing a fireball in space.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all a thing. Now, my first question to you guys, now that Fulya is back, so once the Doctor's crash landed on Earth, and Madge Arwell, lovely Madge, ends up helping him, getting him on his way again. That seemed like and I know it's the Doctor, it seemed like a very small thing that she did for him to then go to the trouble of, I'm going to, be the new caretaker of this property you're going to stay at, and I'm going to do up every room, and I'm going to, have this present that you're going to open, and it's going to go into a world full of Christmas trees, and it's going to be beautiful and wonderful and all this. So I feel like for me that felt like a bit over the top, but then it was, it was also me thinking, okay, does the doctor know about the dead husband? But I don't think he does. At least he kind of alludes to not knowing, because when she tells him, he's like, "Oh, sorry to hear," basically. So that's kind of how I was like, trying to make sense of it, because I don't know, 'cause it just seemed like a lot for the doctor to do for one small encounter. I don't know. What do you think, Fulya? Does it track for you?
I don't know. It's like I kind of feel like he decided to just go above and beyond about it to look after this family. But the fact that for me, I thought he actually knew about the husband dying or missing. And so that's why I thought that he decided to take the mantle of caretaker of this place. And I was a little bit confused that he decided to do all of that for this family, which, it's a really, really sweet gesture, I will say, like, especially considering it's Christmas time and he understands what Christmas means to a lot of people on Earth. And yeah, it's really nice of him to do all that. For me, I thought he actually knew the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Madge tells him what happened, it confused me because I was like, oh, maybe he didn't know. Then why did he do this? Why did he go over the top? But I feel like maybe that was just his way of repaying her for helping him out when he first landed, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Is in that spacesuit where he had the helmet on backwards. I'm just like, dude, just turn it around. You'll be fine. No, he's too stubborn for that.
Too stubborn.
You try turning around in a suit.
I would stand still and then just be like, all right, turn.
But he does say he can't take it off because his body's still rebuilding after the impact.
Yeah, fair. Like, if it's not one of those twisty kind of a situation of the helmet, then rather than he'd have to like take it off, turn it around and put it back on. But whatever. Anyway. Yeah, I think he was just repaying the favor potentially. I feel like that's what it might have been. So, yeah.
Very simple, I guess.
Yeah.
Mike, did you have a similar read on it than we did, or something different maybe?
Yeah, I can't remember if that particular plot point was established or not. I assume so. Otherwise, it does seem like a bit of a overboard. But considering the doctor said from the previous episode, he needs to stay low. He needs to keep quiet. But then the next shot, a spaceship blows up. And he falls to Earth. Kind of loud. So he's not really keeping his promises. And that sort of harkens back to what happens at the very end of the episode too. So it works, I guess. And it also works for Matt Smith's Doctor, who's a bit like, Willy Wonka, going over the top, and wants to make this Christmas really special because the kids will find out that there's a death in the family. Surely you don't want to keep them up too high, otherwise the crash will be even worse. But whoopsie.
Oopsie.
But as they say, better for them to be happy now because they're going to be sad later. I don't know.
Or gets angry at the kids being happy because they're going to be sad.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about as well, was just the choice that Madge makes to hold off telling the kids what happened to their dad. At first I kind of judged her for it, because she, she doesn't get a chance to explain herself immediately. So I was just a bit like, nah, why? How can you lie to them? Like, I mean, and that kind of comes down to my stance at the end, I think, as well. Like, it feels like I get where she's coming from by saying, like, it's Christmas and I don't want to ruin Christmas and have that it forever altered to be the day they found out their dad died. I get that, but like, they deserve to know. And just lying to them just to save them a little bit of time without awful pain. I don't know. It just feels. But I'm not a mother and I don't know the ins and outs of what that's like. But like, just I don't know. I didn't really like it. But I will say I did enjoy the scene that you just referenced, Fulia, where the doctors, he explains that, they should be happy, before descending into grief, I suppose. And that's kind of sweet that he, because this is why it made me feel like, well, maybe he did know that the husband was dead, because it just, the way he hyped up the kids' room and showed it all off, and the hammocks from the ceiling, and
Yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got as well. Yeah. That was the
yeah,
sense I got.
yeah, and I kind of liked how he kept saying, "I know." Like, it was very adorable. His childlike excitement was just wonderful.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. It also just to me feels like just a pure choice for storytelling of like having the kids find out right in the height of the peak of the episode, right, and then immediately following the father comes back. Yeah, I mean, it's nice the way it kind of all pays off and whatever. It's all, I guess, convenient and makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. Fully, do you have any additional thoughts on why Madge decided not to reveal the information?
I was actually questioning, she got that telegram the year before? Or was it not too long ago? Like, was it only like maybe recent?
I think she got it like within. It must have been within days, surely.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't think they said, because all the title card just said Christmas Eve when it jumped to them arriving at the
Yeah.
house. So
Because I feel like that the telegram that she had, it might have been from like, I thought for some reason my brain went to it was from a year ago, or it was 6 months prior to the lead up to Christmas Eve or whatever. I don't know, but
see, if it's that long, that makes me even more angry at her.
yeah. Because when I was thinking that, I'm like, you've held off on telling your kids this for that long. How long have you been lying to them? So yeah, that's kind of the only other sort of thought process I really had, in terms of just the length between her receiving the telegram and then Christmas Eve happening. So I'm not quite sure when that would have been.
Yeah,
My thing is, we meet the family before the war starts, and then jump ahead to the war has started. It's December, and the plane's going down, and she probably got the telegram that either that morning or that day, the day before, and Ori has plans to actually get out of London because of the Blitz and to spend Christmas in this place.
I mean, he does say that, tell such and such we're going home for Christmas as they're going down.
Yeah, so that would probably Christmas Eve.
Okay. That makes a bit more sense.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
well,
big glaring plot point there,
yeah.
and it would explain the ending as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Canny.
Swear to God, I just end me now.
No.
No. So yes, the doctors, made the caretaker, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
has made the house, fit for, repaying a favor, I suppose. And but then, what the doctor doesn't expect is the things to start to go wrong, and the gift that he gives them of, wanting to take them to through a dimensional portal to a year in the future that's like 5,000 years something. What 5345 AD was the year. I wrote it down. Crazy. But yes. Yeah, and then, because things are going down there and we can hear these ominous whispers coming through.
Whisper.
Little Cyril is drawn to what it is.
That kid is just too curious. Too curious.
Which, they set up at the beginning with him like gazing into the telescope, which is
I get it.
kind of
Just
nice.
has no sense of caution.
Yeah. Like, don't you know this might kill you? But no, he's adorable, and and then we get our Narnia moment of him going into through the portal, and it's a winter wonderland with Christmas trees everywhere and all of this. And so I kind of liked that homage to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because when Lucy first goes into the wardrobe, she walks out and it's all snow and woods and everything. So it was a nice homage to that that I appreciated.
But where's the lamp post?
But where's the lamp post and Mr.
Where's
Tumnus?
Mr. Tumnus?
Yes. So yeah, that was kind of fun. But then the mystery begins as to what these baubles are and what all the whispers are, and and soon enough the doctor and the sister, what was her name? Was it Lily?
Lily? Yep.
Come wandering through, and then the mum eventually comes wandering through, and then we're all stuck on the world with Christmas trees. I really liked just, I don't know, the idea of the trees being these sort of sentient beings, I suppose. Like, I like the moment where the doctor's like, of course they're alive, they're trees. Because trees are alive. In our world. But in this reality, the trees are, have a way of communicating with each other, and they have souls and stuff that are capable of leaving their hosts and going to find new hosts and stuff. Yeah, so as a concept, I thought that was really cool, and I liked the idea that they can construct buildings and stuff, and they made those two creepy statues as well. So yeah, so I kind of found that kind of interesting, and then just the whole like, oh, they're all going to be burnt down and used for fuel, and that's kind of the I don't know, the drama of the episode of, like, typical Doctor Who. You think this creature's a bad guy. Well, actually, no. They're the innocent ones, and they're being persecuted or something bad's happening to them. Uprooted, yeah.
With acid rain.
Well, with acid rain. Yeah, Fulya, what did you think of the trees, the concept, and how it was executed?
Yeah, these trees have like souls apparently, and the way that they also like come out of the trees, they essentially look like stars, and so it was a very pretty sight when we got to see all of that sort of happening. But it wasn't really for a good reason. They were coming out of the trees because they were scared for their life. They didn't want to get rained on with acid rain, and then or end up getting like deforested out of there. So yeah, it was really interesting to know that these trees were, I mean, they're living things, but they're alive. And especially when we get to meet the tree king and the tree queen later on, like a little bit after. That was also interesting, and I completely forgot that they were not going to harm them. They just wanted the humans to help them in the situation that they're in. But it was just really interesting that especially when we see the baubles on the trees as well, and how Cyril decided to pop one open. That was interesting, to say the least. And yeah, no, it was yeah, no, I kind of like the whole concept of them having like this soul. But I could see that as being quite scary for a kid to especially see this tree king and queen sort of be there. And, yeah.
Tree
massive.
I am no tree.
Mike, what did you think of the trees and how they went in this episode?
I thought they were good, but unfortunately, this is where it starts getting. Stephen Moffat loves to do of chucking in all this interesting stuff, but it's way too much, and you can't really pinpoint and actually focus on. It could have been like this whole thing could have been like, I don't know, like an environmental thing and something to do with that, and to do with like these trees have souls, and we can deal with that, but there's all this other stuff happening, so you can't really focus more on that. And being the red herring of this could have been the bad guys, it's like, no, well, in a way, what's really the bad guy in this show, in this episode? There isn't one, which is an interesting concept, but there's a lot of stuff and not enough time to actually deal with it. But I did like their aesthetic. Doesn't make sense that the building that they are in is basically trees grown in that shape. But from the outside, it looks like it's stone. That doesn't make sense. And there's also glass as well. How do trees make glass?
How exactly?
It's supposed to. It's an illusion.
Photosynthesis. Another reason why this episode doesn't make sense. The Doctor can fall from space, and trees can make grass. Trees make glass, yes, and escape somehow. Need a body host. Why? Why do this? If you have the technology to do that, surely you can have the technology to actually be Navi, Avatar, and actually destroy the equipment that's coming down and doing the acid rain. Anyway, but the suits look cool. Very, very, very Green Knighty. Have you seen that film?
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're referencing, yeah.
Big wooden, knight. It's like, I'm Groot. Yeah.
Yeah, he reminded me of Groot a bit. The way the top of his like crown thing kind of was a little Grootesque.
Grotesque.
Grootesque. not to be
Is that a
confused with
female Groot?
grotesque.
A grotesque.
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 So this kind of leads into when Madge is trying to find her kids and the caretaker, and she ends up running into what I called stormtroopers because they were kind of in, these yellow stormtrooper-esque outfits.
Honestly, the way that they look to me, they kind of look like they were from Helldivers. The game.
That's funny. That's
That was
funny.
intelligent too.
But yeah, I kind of liked the scenes with them. I mean, not just because Bill Bailey was there, and that was cool to see him in Doctor Who. But I kind of like the fact that Madge was able to, I don't know, take control of the situation by pretending to be so upset and all of this, and she was able to manipulate her way into tying them up in their harvester and taking command and all of that, and even figuring out how to operate the thing too, might I add, considering they were like, it takes years and years of training, you'll never be able to make it work, you need to, you have to untie one of us.
Really don't like that trope.
But
in a lot of things.
But she's a strong mother, you see.
And she can figure out how to drive a machine that she's never seen before?
Yeah, don't you know the parable of a child is underneath a car, and then the mum finds the energy and the strength to lift up the car off the child. Never heard of that?
Nope.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's so true.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Fulya. It's too convenient. But I get what Mike's saying on the other hand.
How can you not like a strong female character?
Yeah. Oh, I love a strong female character. I know you're giving me shit, but
I'm giving the show shit.
Yeah, I was praising, the way that Madge had some actual autonomy is not the right word. Initiative,
agency?
I guess, to agency. Thank you, agency to
urgency.
Agency to get herself out of that situation. I liked that more than I liked the fact that later in the episode she was able to control. And we'll talk about the ending as well and our thoughts on what that means. But yeah, but no, I kind of, yeah, I liked that stuff. Fully, do you have any additional comments?
That she can be very manipulative and kind of get her way very quickly, and considering that she's from a wartime sort of period, and these other people are futuristic and they haven't really gone through the same thing that she has. Yeah, it was interesting the moment she turned on him with the gun. I'm like, lady, calm down. They're trying to help you.
Yeah, but fully, they're in the middle of wartime.
Not in this place, they're not.
No. But they escaped London because it was getting bombed to fuck.
But yeah, no, like it was interesting to see how she dealt with this situation, but she was also just very untrusting as well. I mean, yeah, okay, they're strangers in a world that she's come to for the first time, and it's the future. But the fact that they've decided to put down their guns and not harm her all they wanted to do was talk and let her know, hey, it's gonna rain acid here. You're gonna die if you don't get out of here. Yeah, like she could have. There could have been like another way of trying to figure out how to make her like get like ask for help essentially to find her kids, rather than get violent and aggressive.
Ladies, settle down. No need to be hysterical.
No need to be so strong.
Too strong, if you will.
Too strong. Too strong. Mike, do you have any comments on Madge here?
Was performed well. And
yeah.
Otherwise, what I've been saying. Could have dealt with it differently. What can you do? You don't really have much time because I don't know. Need a couple more drafts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Cool. Well, let's kind of get in towards the ending stuff, I think, so we can
The latter half.
Yes, wrap this up. Yeah, so basically the wooden statues end up figuring out how to use the humans as a way to communicate, and there's this ring that gets put upon Cyril's head, and but then they're like he's too weak, because what ends up happening is all the souls of the trees start to leave, and they've got nowhere to go, and they need a host, and even though the ring works, Cyril apparently cannot support, and the doctor tries. I really like this. The doctor tries to put on the ring, and it's painful as hell. Like, he can't control it. He can't settle it and calm it down or anything. And then
typical man can't put on a ring.
And then as soon as Lily gets a hold of it, she's just like, oh, this is actually fine. Yeah. And then of course we see when Madge enters the picture, she's she's the strong one. She's the one who's supposed to wear it and help them, because then obviously by this point the acid rain has started coming down to get rid of all the trees. And they need to figure out a way out of it. I feel like this is the weakest acid rain I've seen ever. I don't know about you guys. It didn't really do much, considering the construction that they were in was an illusion of a building.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't exactly that heavy either.
No.
So I think about it. It's acid rain is supposed to melt the trees, but not tone the soil so they can replant. Otherwise, they have to wait like decades for the soil to regerminate. So it's not really a good system that they have.
No, and especially because we see the harvester being operated while the rain's coming down, and it doesn't seem to be taking that much damage. I think when Madge crashes it down, there's a bit of damage to it, but I don't know if that's just from the crash or if it's anything to do with the acid rain. But basically, I found it strange that the stormtrooper dudes would be like, we're getting out of here now because we're going to get incinerated. But aren't they in this machine that's indestructible from the acid? I don't know. They didn't really do a good job with the acid rain. No. I don't think. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to touch on was the ending with the main trees, the statues saying that Madge is strong enough. And then what I didn't like about it, and I think that's fine, as as a feminist and whatnot, I appreciate moments of like when the females get to be the strong ones, get to be in charge, get to do this, whatever. It's done to good effect in some things, it's done to bad effect in other things. Here it was fine. My problem was just only in the fact that the doctor had to spell it out to us in dialogue what was happening. Because I'm like, as soon as they were like, Cyril is weak and the doctor is weak, I'm like, well, the females are going to be fine with it. And then immediately Lily was able to hold on to the ring. And then I'm like, okay, Madge is going to come in and save the day. And that's exactly what happened. And then the doctor's like, oh, it's women, they're the strong ones. And not just that, but Madge is a mother. And I was like, yeah, no shit, doctor. I was just like, come on.
Dinosaurs eat man, women inherit.
Yeah. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. What did you think, Fulya?
Spoon feed.
Yeah. It was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of the way that was spelled out either, because I was like, yeah, mothership. I get it.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Play on word.
Mm-hmm.
Obvious as hell.
Well done, Moffat.
Yeah, great writing.
Do you feel empowered though, as women? Do you feel empowered?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I guess it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could kick some ass maybe if I chose to, if the opportunity arose.
If you front up
Perhaps.
to the queen, words, the alien queen, and say, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yes, absolutely. In a heartbeat, I will rise to the occasion.
Mostly.
Mike, did you have any thoughts?
Oh, who gives a shit what I think? I'm a man.
I just meant in terms of the writing aspect of it, not necessarily the feminist side of it.
Well, it's sort of hand in hand. They sort of both need work. There's, the situation doesn't make sense, but to get there, it's like, yeah, it's understandable that, and they're doing this thing again and again where love conquers all, and all you need is love, and everything's fine. It's like cool for one or two episodes, but they're leaning on this trope way too much, I reckon. Because they sort of did the same thing with the wedding, for River Song, and yeah, I get it, but don't do it too much, because it just gets boring and dull. Sometimes I just want the Doctor to fight aliens and monsters and yay, and moral victories.
Well, two more things to touch on, I think. Yeah, just the convenience, or the nice, sweet ending of the father surviving and following them through the time vortex. Immediately after the kids have been told their dad is dead. and then well, mid telling. I mean, they kind of already figured it out, but it was mid telling, and the Doctor's like, "You better come and see this." I'm actually kind of glad.
Outside.
Yeah, there's Deus Ex Machina happening. I'm actually kind of glad that they went with this happy ending with reuniting the dad. I mean, I don't like it entirely, but I I don't know. I feel like the episode would have ended on a much more grim note for a Christmas special if they didn't bring him back.
Seeing kids cry on Christmas.
Would have been an interesting choice. I don't know. What do you think, Fulya? How do you feel with the dad surviving at the end?
I mean, that we find out that all that happened was that he was lost and they needed some form of light source to follow, but I just kind of wish it wasn't the light source that came out of that bulb spaceship that they were riding in. That Madge was piloting, I suppose.
You know, in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one where Groot makes a big ball, it's that.
Yeah.
It's also a spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's nice to know that he survived. Christmas miracle and all that. But I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would have been interesting to see what it would have been like with the ladder if he didn't.
Yeah.
Where that family would have ended up. Like, would they still be able to celebrate their Christmas or whatever, or would they be grieving? I don't know.
Yeah. Like how I feel like they probably would have found a way to make it meaningful and sweet somehow. But
I think so.
But maybe it wouldn't have had the same touch, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
I think it could have worked but having the kids having like kid characters involved probably wouldn't work. So they do it like they went the cheerful route, which is understandable because it is Christmas, and kids do watch these episodes on Christmas. Like, it is like a tradition. If you do watch Doctor Who on the Christmas, we get it on Boxing Day because we're 12 hours ahead. Time travel. Yeah, a little bit ham-fisted, a tad, and very emotional manipulation with the telling of mum telling kids dad died, and then pull the rug. It's more of an annoyance than a hindrance. It's like, I can see what you're doing, but that means this whole story is moot. So what's the point? It's a Christmas show. It's a Christmas episode. No real high stakes. It's just having a bit of fun. And who cares that it doesn't make sense? Yeah. At least we got the real stories to come.
I mean, that's what I was kind of meaning earlier when I said this episode is a safe episode, because they're not really taking any risks, and you're right. Like, the Christmas specials don't seem to be the avenue for that. Like, you're just gonna have a nice story,
unless it's a special one that involves like a regeneration. Then Christmas is sort of like salad dressing to the story.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is like a Christmas light episode. It doesn't really matter if it is at Christmas or not. It's just the emotional stakes. It being Christmas is another reason why not to tell the kids, because it's Christmas. And, you're supposed to be cheery at Christmas, happy holidays and that.
Yeah, it's true.
Be jolly.
Be jolly. All right, one last thing. Madge tells the Doctor to go and see his family, see his loved ones, tell them that he's alive. And of course, the Doctor doesn't know that River Song already told Amy and Rory that he's he survived, faked his death and all of that. So I really liked the scene at the end of the episode with them, and you know, there's a lot of comedic elements to it, like Amy and the Doctor avoiding each other's gazes and like avoiding this hug that was inevitably going to happen was kind of cute. And then Rory jumping in and just being like, "Hey, weren't you dead?" Like, "Oh, we've been over that already." Was a bit of fun. And then, you know, him getting invited in to dinner was nice, a sweet way to end it with, like, you know, we've always set a place for you at the table. And then the Doctor actually sheds a tear.
A tear of
like that was
happiness.
a tear of happiness. Yes, not sadness or grief or anger. It's a happy tear because he has his people, he has his family, and he's wanted.
And the worst line ever. Humany woomany.
Yeah, what was that?
It was dumb. It was absolutely dumb. And I don't envy Matt Smith to say it.
Have to say it. Yeah, I didn't get that either. But here we are. I thought it was a nice way to end the episode and to see Amy and Rory again, see them reunited. 2 years apparently, I think was what she said. It's been 2 years.
Waited 2 years.
They waited 2 years. Oh, cool. Fulya, what did you think of the final scene here?
Yeah, I know that Madge kind of peer pressured him into going over to see them, but
Mum
if he
guilt.
wanted, yeah, if he really wanted, like, I don't know, like the fact that Amy already knew that he was still alive because obviously, you know, Riversong already told him. He didn't really have to rock up if he really wasn't sure, but it was nice that he decided to go back and be like, "Hey, look, I'm alive, by the way. Merry Christmas." But yeah, it just felt a bit cheesy, I think, the way they decided to end it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, the look he had on his face when Amy told him that they always set a place for him on the table for Christmas dinner. Once they walked away and he was still at the door with like shock on his face, but then it turns into like an awe. I kind of liked that sort of just no words, just facial expression performance. That was really nice. And then, you know, the tear, the one tear coming down his face, was really well done. But yeah, humany woomany, and I'm like, what? Timey wimey is good. Humany woomany is bad. Please, never again.
Smelling your own farts.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Boy. All right, Mike, take us home. How did you feel about the ending?
It was actually sweet. Considering it just undercuts like the entire of season 6. Anyway, that's what this does. It undercuts everything. So, it was a nice, like, sort of bow at the end of a Christmas episode of having the Doctor with previous companions to end the year with, of just sitting down to have a nice Christmas dinner, which the Doctor rarely does, except for every Christmas. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, thinking about the future. Nice to see Amy and Rory and the Doctor both happy.
Yeah, because they're not going to be happy by the end of this season upcoming, I'm sure.
I'm not saying a thing.
Oh, I know what happens.
Oh, do you?
I know some of what happens.
It's a shame that we're going to be busy with other shows because I just want to see your expression.
You want to see my reaction to what unfolds?
What happens to them,
Mm,
but not the ending.
okay. Okay. All right. Well, in time you will get it.
And that is
Mm.
time. And we'll travel forward in time at the same rate as everyone else. For that
Yes.
is the ultimate time travel.
We're all
Right.
time travelers here.
We're all time travelers here.
Mm. All right. I have nothing else to say. I think we're done. We're done. Let's wrap. Let's finish this up. Cool. So those are our thoughts on the Christmas special of 2011, Doctor Who, The Doctor, The Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the show. No more show. We've done a big epic show for the week. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
And that
was a podcast.
was a podcast called
Fred.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for the latest Fred content.
If you'd like to listen to Fred the Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And if you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of future goodness. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on the way out, twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Yes, I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya and Michael.
And I've been a man that still needs a haircut, a Michael Lister.
And you just
experienced
a podcast called Fred.
Transition.
Remember to eat beef.
Remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and... Harry? Isn't it time for Dougie? The dad is the dad is the narrator for Hey Dougie. It's a kids show.
Okay. Well, remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yeah, do that.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Laters, Gators.
Yeah, why don't you do
And
See